What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I've been looking forward to playing the game again. I don't know. I like my Neo Scavenger days. I have fun with them. My Dead State days are kind of like waning, though. Like, Dead State it seems to just be like dragging. I feel like the game could have done with like a 60-day time limit on it. Not even that. Maybe like a 45-day time limit so that it would have replay value, but the game would be short enough to where, you know, if you only wanted to hit it one time, you could hit it one time. But anyways, we're playing Neo Scavenger today. Why are we talking about Dead State? We're not. Let's hang out here for a little bit. I actually might buy some bottled water because I'm a huge lazy prick right now. We've got 4184. I brought back a bunch of stuff. I sold him like all of this stuff, essentially, a bunch of bullets. I scavenged on my way back into town, and we made probably about $1,000 on our way in. What we want to do right now is get our eyes fixed from our myopia. So let's go to Haggerty. And in Haggerty, we want to go upstairs to the prosthetic procedures wing. And so what we want to get is eye surgery. It's going to be $1,000. It's $5,600 for artificial eyes. Wow, that's a lot more expensive than I expected. That's a lot of money. Really? All right, we'll just fix our eyes for right now. So there it is. And so all this is essentially, I don't really actually know how eye surgery works when they go in to fix like your nearsightedness or, you know, farsightedness. I'm farsighted. Like, my vision is actually perfect. I'm sorry, I'm nearsighted. My vision is perfect, like, up close, but once things get out further, much further than maybe, like, 5-10 feet, things get real blurry for me. I do wear glasses. I don't ever wear them on the channel just because I hate them. I dislike my glasses tremendously, but I think once I buy a new pair, I may actually wear them a lot more. My glasses are actually from high school, almost. I think I got my glasses that I currently have, like, my second year of college at the JC, so when I was, like, 20, and I'm almost 28 right now, so I've had them for a while, and I hate them with a passion. They're, like, out of style. I don't like the way that they look. The lenses are all scratched up and wrecked up. It's just like I never get, like, scheduling an appointment for the optometrist. Like, is that something you take time out of your day to do? I don't know. For me, it's just, like, one of those things that always consistently falls by the wayside. I should be like, you know what I should do? Call my optometrist. Not going to worry about it. I'll call tomorrow. You know, and that's how it goes down. So for right now, all that we're doing is we're waiting on our, there we go, I got a little bit of water, overpriced water, but water nonetheless. So I'll throw it into my inventory. That's how lazy I'm feeling right now. We have money. We can make this happen. The joys of being futuristically, apocalyptically rich. Ooh, that's a good modifier right there. Be like, how rich are you? I am apocalyptically rich. I'd be like, wow. That sounds really, really impressive. Can I see your bank statement? I'm not trying to be intrusive right now, but when you describe your bank account balance as apocalyptically rich, I become curious and I want to know. If you're apocalyptically rich, that means, like, in my mind anyways, I had to get rid of our crowbar, by the way. If you're wondering where our crowbar went, I ditched our cart and I ditched our crowbar so that I could carry more guns, because that's the way that I function in the world. Our clown mask should do a pretty reasonable job of scaring people off and keeping them up out of our business. Crowbar, we'll probably have to find another one at some point. I shouldn't scavenge. Oh, man, I hate ending my turn this close to other players. Alright, or other actors, I guess, not even players, just like people that might potentially slap us with large meat cleavers or other items of destruction. I've noticed that, wait, what? What happened over here? Somebody get murdered in their sleep? Somebody get murked? It looks like somebody got took out. Okay, well, I will sleep next to the desiccated, chopped up, destroyed, defiled corpse. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm fine with it. Next turn. We're a little bit tired right now, but I don't know. Let's scavenge the hex real fast. Maybe we'll get some berries or something out of it. Yeah. Chances aren't very good, but we can try. There's a little bit. I mean, that'll help offset it a tiny bit. It's better than nothing. I'll take it. That's pretty good. Could be a lot worse. But anyways, end that turn. And so now it's sleepy time. It's time to make a way to sleepies. On top of... You will sleep. You do not have insomnia. You will not be doing this right now. You will not be doing this right now. There we go. Fantastic. And so now that it's day break, day doesn't strike me as breaking, to be honest. It makes no shattering noise. There's no real... When something breaks, like, think about this. When something breaks, are you in a good mood? Huh? But when day breaks, everybody's happy about, like, a sunrise. Like, when was the last time you watched a sunrise? Watch. Go watch a sunrise. I know it's going to be early in the morning, but do yourself a favor. Go watch a sunrise, and I bet you have a big-ass grin on your face just like, yeah. Like, go throw your Ray-Bans on or, like, whatever it is you have and just go, like, watch the sun. Hey, what's up? What's up over here? Some antibiotics. I will take you antibiotics, and you will go inside of my inventory. Yeah, I'm not bleeding from anywhere, am I? Ew, dirty rags all around my tummy. I'm very, very sensitive about my tummy. How hard is it to clean a belly button? You guys ever notice how hard it is to clean your belly button? Because it's all like sensitive up inside of there. But then like if you don't clean it, it gets like a crust or something. It's all gross. And so like it's a catch-22. It's either inflict yourself to like the obnoxious feeling of having your belly button cleaned, or B, just let it get all nasty. And then once somebody notices at the swimming pool, get all offended about it. And then go home crying because your 3rd birthday is ruined. Anyways, what was I talking about? Apocalyptic richness. Apocalyptic richness. I could see that being used to describe like a devil's food cake. But like, how delicious is it? And I'm like, this is apocalyptically rich. Like, it is so rich that it makes your eyes hurt. It's like, I don't know. I really like, for example, velvet cake, red velvet cake. I can only have like one tiny little piece of it. Otherwise, it's too much for me. I'm the same with cheesecake. It's too sweet. It's too sweet and it's too much. However, lighter flavored stuff like angel food cakes, I can eat a lot of that. I can get a little bit rowdy on the angel food cake. I will embarrass myself at Red Lobster. I'll be like, can you bring me a 40th slice, please? And they'll be like, sir, we're all out. You actually ate our entire supply. And I'll be like, well, that sounds like your problem, doesn't it? I love Red Lobster. I feel bad for the lobsters, though, when you walk in. Like, you think about how sadistic that is for a second. Like, imagine, let's just take, like, an alien race for a second, right? And when you go to an alien restaurant, or, like, let's say that I'm an alien and you are an alien. A xeno. A filthy, disgusting xeno. And let's say that we go somewhere. I should probably make myself some lockpicks or something, seeing as we are... Do I have the materials to make said lockpicks? I do! Anyways, you and I are aliens, and we go to a restaurant. And let's say that aliens like to eat humans. Like, humans are considered a delicacy to the aliens, to serve humanity, you know, all that fun stuff. And so, you go in, and in the front room, there's a full-size recreation of just like a human living room, with humans wandering around inside of it, just chilling. I don't know what maybe they've got their hands sort of like bound slightly so that they can't fight back when they get pulled out, or maybe they've got like a little collar thing so that you can hook them with like one of those long hooks like they use in The Walking Dead, like one of those things used for catching wild dogs or whatever. Anyways, when you order your dinner, you're like, oh, actually the human flambe sounds, you have human and asparagus? Yeah, I'm going to take let's have the human flank and asparagus. They like rope that little bastard and they drag him into the kitchen and they butcher him and then they serve him to you. And you're an alien, so this is okay right now. We're talking about this as aliens, not as like humans. And so that's essentially like what it is for the lobster. Like, you recreate his house and you just make him like hella comfortable up in the front. If you don't know this, Red Lobster is a chain in the United States where it's kind of like a middle range steakhouse, I guess. Like, you go there for like 18th birthday parties, and you go there for like, you know, promotion parties and stuff like that, where they have like expensive steaks, they have lobster, they have crab, like surf and turf, all of that kind of stuff. So anyways, now you know what Red Lobster is. And one of the features, like the staples of Red Lobster, is that they always have in the front room, they always have like a big aquarium tank, because that's where they get the lobsters from. The lobsters are fresh. They fly them in from, I don't know, Maine or wherever the hell it is lobsters come from. And so they fly in lobsters. The lobsters are there. We need more foil. And so in order to keep our plans from being foiled when we go to Camp Grayling, I'm gonna snag this chip bag. Give me all your scraps. Get this bag. Put it in my sack. Don't chew the foil. It'll kind of hurt. I learned that lesson when I was a kid. You gotta have the bass line in there. Like, every bass line requires some dude just like sitting there slapping it. Just like, like that kind of shit. Yep. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. In a heartbeat. Everybody loves a good baseline, but yeah. The front room of every Red Lobster has like a big aquarium there so that you can see that the lobsters are fresh, I guess. I don't know. How do you determine the freshness of a lobster? If you really take into consideration what a lobster is, it's just a giant sea insect. Like, that's all that it is. It's an enormous sea insect. I've always been confused about how people can like lobster but not like crawfish, or crawdads. That's what we call them. We call them crawdads or mud bugs. Anyways, we used to go crawdad fishing like when I was a kid. Like, once a year we would go out and we'd fill up. We had all the nets. We would go out and we would catch. I feel like I'm probably way off base right now. Oh my god. We're down by the isotope mine? Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I don't even know where we were right now. I can fix this, though, with a northward persuasion. Let's be positive and go upwards. Anyways, we used to go fishing for mud bugs once a year when I was a kid. We go out, we had nets with like the big gaffing hook, and then you catch like a couple bajillion of them. You fill up like 4 or 5 ice chests with them. Take them home. We had a big-ass pot, and you throw them all in there with some cayenne pepper and some garlic and some other stuff. Is that good to go? Hell yeah. I'm going to drink you right now. How do you feel about that? Iffy. Iffy. Anyways, throw them in there with some garlic and some cayenne pepper and some other stuff, and we'd have, that's like the neighborhood thing. We would have like a block party for all of the neighbors, where it actually wasn't at my house. It was at my best friend's house, but he lived like 2 doors down, and so we always went. Is this boot better than our boot? Yeah. Give that one das Boot. When the boot is no longer useful, we shall throw it on the ground. Say farewell, inferior boot. Let's see here. I will sleep on the earth. I will just sleep with my face to Mother Gaia right now. That's weird hippie sound. Never mind, I feel guilty. The second that came out of my mouth, I was like, ugh. That took a weird turn. That took a really weird turn. Talk about putting my head up to some weird fictional earth female's breast. I don't know you. I don't know where that boob's been. I don't want it on the side of my head. You might have a nappy-ass boob. What do I know about your boob? It might be super nappy. Like big curly hair on it. Like, ugh, what is that a German Shepherd fur right there? What is that? What is that? Ugh. Alright, never mind, Gaia. Stay away from me. You and your easily plied boobs. God. This series, sometimes I wonder, when I'm sleep deprived, I find that my episodes might be funnier. At least I feel like they're funnier. I appreciate my humor, and I guess that's all that matters. That's what my dad used to say anyways. He'd be like, I don't need an audience. I'll go out in the barn and joke to myself. Like, I guess, oh, I should have bought antibiotics while I was out and about. Well, damn. Ooh, that guy, this dude over here, he's wielding a stick and a rifle at the same time. He is the stick warrior. The stick figure in the darkness. Let's stay away from him because he seems to be equally equipped as we are. I don't like fighting people that have, like, they're on the same footing as us. Like, video games, it's all about fighting unfair as much as possible. Fight as just underhandedly and as unfairly as possible when you play Neo Scavenger. Beat up on people that don't have good weapons, take their stuff. As long as it's not you, it's okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of, like, the sociopath simulators like DayZ and H1Z1. I do play them, but I don't play them like most people play them. Like, I very rarely kill other players. I usually just kind of, like, I find the challenge to be to sneak around them and avoid them, actually. I find that to be a lot more fun, playing kind of like a leave no trace type style of gameplay. Drawing no attention. I do kill people. I killed 3 or 4 people the other day in H1Z1. They tried to ride out on me. I was just kind of like observing. I had binoculars and I was down the street and they were fixing a car, and I guess they thought that I was going to try and steal the car or something. I don't know. They had numbers too. Never underestimate people who have numbers. Like, they'll act a fool if they can get away with it. I'm going to empty that out. We'll throw the white pill. We do need those. Yeah, there's a good stash right there. Do we have any wounds? No wounds, unfortunately. I was hoping we could maybe treat something right now. Eat a Twinkie, because why not? It's been a while since I got my twonk on. That's a 43% boot, but I think I'd rather have my shoes finally match. I am fully tactical at the moment, and I like that. I like that a lot. So it's time for Camp Grayling. If you've never done Camp Grayling, it's a trip. I'm hoping I can walk you through this and help you survive it. I've survived it once or twice before, but it's been a while, and so I'm going to have to look at the options whenever we get there. We may not even get there. There's a lot of dogmen up that way, like, seriously. There are a lot of dogmen up there. I will not forsake my grammar in the face of death. Anyways, there are a ton, like, seriously, like a stupid amount of dogmen up there. So you kind of want to be careful about that. It can get a little bit rowdy. Much quicker than expected. It can get out of hand very, very fast. Oh, batteries, you can go over there. I don't want to bring you along. We do have guns and bullets. The shotgun doesn't hold as many slugs. I thought a shotgun holds 6 slugs if you haven't modified it to hold more. I don't know, the 5 seems like a weird number. I know in California right now it's illegal to have more than 4 shells in the pipe at a time. It's a dumb law. It's an idiotic law, but, you know, California gun laws, they are what they are. Like, the law doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, so what you're saying, I guess with a shotgun, limiting the ammo might help if somebody decides to go on a ridiculous postal killing spree. It takes a while to tube feed a shotgun, but I don't know. It's just kind of like inconveniences you when you're like going out skeet shooting and stuff. You're like, oh, fired 4 shots, time to reload again. Oh, fired 4 shots, time to reload again. I think they have that rule with any, I think it's like with certain calibers too. I don't know, there's lots of dumb gun laws out here. And it's like, you wonder sometimes like how they enforce them, and the truth is that they don't. Like, I know tons of people with banana clips and all kinds of illegal shit up here. It's just like, you can still get it. You just go to gun shows and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's no way to enforce that stuff without like door knocking and whatnot, and they're definitely not going to waste the time doing that. Like, the California police system is already like going bankrupt. Like, half the cities in Northern California basically had to file for bankruptcy. The cops barely have time to stop crimes from happening, let alone like sitting around trying to door knock and figure out who has illegal gun accessories. So yeah, I don't know. You're allowed to have banana clips, as I recall. You're allowed to have a banana clip if you bought it before the ban went into effect in like the 80s or the 90s or something like that. I don't know. My dad has 5 or 6 of them for different rifles. Big ass banana clips too. With one of those, he's got one of those little feedy things. So like you got the banana clip, and then you stick this thing in the top of it, and you dump bullets into it, and then you just like turn a crank, and it just like feeds bullets into the magazine. So if you got to load like 45, 50 bullets, it goes pretty quick. It's pretty cool. It does like a little tick, 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 tick. Pretty awesome. It was nice for when we were out shooting targets and stuff. You could reload a big rifle real fast without having to sit there forever thumbing them all in. It's pretty sweet. I don't know. It's a convenience thing. I don't know if I could like justify having a banana clip. Like if you wanted like me to explain to like an authority figure like why do you need a 50-round banana clip for this particular, I don't know if I could come up with an excuse. I'd be like, because it's cool, because it's badass, because it's super awesome. Like what, you don't want to be Rambo right now? Because doesn't this gun look like a Rambo gun right now? It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I can see you looking at it. I always wanted one of those barrel clips. That's what I always wanted, but I don't know. I don't go to gun shows or anything. I don't even own a gun right now. I want to purchase one. I've been perusing. I'm probably going to get a Model 36. A snub Model 36 is what I've been thinking about. I feel like that's like a decent like starter gun. Like some place to start off. Probably take a couple pistol safety classes too or something because it's been a while. It's been a while. I haven't been out to a shooting range since I was probably 16 or 17. So yeah, over a decade. Probably right around the time where it's the responsible adult thing to do to take a class. Okay, so Camp Grayling. I think, we're early enough to where we could make this work, maybe. Our blood's looking good. Our blood's looking good. We're thirsty. Well, what do we need here? I'm going to make that. God, we are just a mess right now. What is going on? What is going on with this character? My God. Like, what went wrong in your life? You're running around the hills, dales, and glens with a tinfoil suit on and a clown head. Like, come on now. I'm going to make 2 of these because the last time I made 1, and it didn't go so great for me. So making 2, I feel like with 2 of them, I might be able to make further advancement. What happened to our orange box? That's the next thing that we need. Is it underneath our suit right now? It's got to be in our sweatshirt pocket, doesn't it? I always have trouble getting this thing unequipped. It has weird parameters. It's probably due to the fact that, yeah, there it is. We need the orange box, and I would like it in a place that shows. Figure we'll throw our pants back on. Blue frog sash just in case. Alright, this is it, everybody. In we go. If we die right here, this is it. I'm pretty sure... Wait, what? It broke in 1 turn? How did that happen? It broke in 1 turn, huh? You can see that dogman over there is like, hey, I see you're up here in the northern wastes. How's it going? Why are you stopping by? Are you trying to buy some specialty goods or something? What are you doing up here? Poncho falls apart real fast, apparently. I said falls apart, but you know what I mean. The road on which you walk is a vanishing one. Besieged by dirt and grass, cracked concrete leads you through the parted woods of pine and aspen, while dense, ghost-white mist whirls in and out of the earthen darkness. The air bites colder here. A flagpole emerges from the gray canvas before you, flying no flag at its peak. You soon reach a great wall made of lines of Jersey barriers defending a tall and sturdy gate. Is a Jersey barrier a specific type of barrier? I don't know what that is. Fortified by the wreckage of cars that once rammed the barricade, it seems that at one point quite a few people became desperate to return to the base. You find their bones right where they left them. To one side, a derelict sign reads, Camp Grayling. The main gates of the military base are a daunting sight to behold, heavy with purpose and impregnability. While there's no shortage of purchase for climbing, the sheer number and variety of corpses heaped between the double barricades suggests that breaking into Camp Grayling might not be the best idea, and wasn't that easy. A fine mesh fence continues through the woods on either side of the gates, clearing the tree line. To your right, the fence skirts a path that leads down to a body of water. To your left, it runs deep into a dark forest, foreboding and beckoning at the same time. I don't know if maybe they want to, like, add that in there. I don't know. Just figured I might ask. Either way, let's go ahead and stay on this thing for right now. We want to take the right path towards the lake, I think. The path opens up to a pitch-black ocean, silent and still under the curtains of fog curling on its surface. Something about this place, with all the time you've spent in the wilderness, nothing has ever been so utterly devoid of sound. An abyss within the waters draws you in the longer you stare into it, and you can't shake the feeling that something is watching you back. The base's fence line follows the shore tightly. There's no easy way through here. You feel a chill as you turn away and head back to the main gates. It's only then that you notice the sign eaten by the underbrush. Lake Margaret, this way. You politely disagree. I suppose we'll take the left path then? Walking between a dense spread of trees and electrified fence, you look for places where you might climb and leap over, but it's as if the forest knows where Grayling's boundaries are, fearful of disobeying. Deep within Camp Grayling, eerie lights weave through the fog, punctuated by an occasional sound that's as much vaguely machine-like as it is animalistic. Soon you see it, 3 giant sphere-like structures dotted with lights along the tops. Something dark crosses your view. You look down. A look of horror hangs on the wide-eyed, rotting face of a woman caught on the other side of the fence, as if trying to flee. The back of her head, neck, and arms are all charred to the bone. You see a handful of bodies along the inner grounds. Every inch of their skin facing towards the base is burnt to all hell. Behind them you see antenna-mounted pylons wordlessly gloating over their likely handiwork, daring you to come. Further ahead, the end of the fence line turns inwards, just before a vast and vile-looking swamp. Even the woods don't dare to venture in. You'd be a sitting duck trying to wade through it. Luckily, you may not have to. You found several places where the electrified mesh fence is partially cut. Any amount of prolonged contact will be pure agony, but with the right tool and every inch of your threshold for pain, you might just get through. All that's left is the choosing. This option over here allows you to go do some stuff. This allows you to explore. Really, your only choice is to cut through the fence, so you might as well just do it now. With everything you've gone through, the first few cuts through the electrified mesh fence chip off little from your resolve, but after 10, 20, and 30, it becomes difficult to ignore the vicious tingling, the spreading sting, and the sensation of skin pulling and twisting against itself. You sweat with anticipation before each cut and pause for relief afterwards. The simple task of cutting a few wires has grown into an increasingly gargantuan task. You'd figure we would have brought some rubber gloves or something along the way. I don't know how much that would help, but eventually after a grueling test of your resolve, you decide that that's it. It's good enough. A few kicks and the fence folds over. As the fence opens, you feel areas of white-hot pain intermittently and you recoil. The sensation disappears when you move from the opening, and soon you discover that the pain seems to come from within the facility. Fortunately, after some tentative testing, it appears your attire mostly shields you from it. So let's check our things one last time and make sure that we're good here. This is rough, and I don't specifically, there's an order you have to do this in, otherwise you die, and I don't specifically remember what it was. Alright, let's go. Bracing yourself, you push through the breach in the fence and start walking. 10 seconds later, all you felt are a few hot touches through the vulnerabilities of the foil covering your body, joints, holes, and so on. You keep your back to the emitter to protect your face. It's really working. The signal from the emitters are bouncing right off of you. You stand in victory and raise your arms. You know you shouldn't, and you're facing the wrong way, but is that all you got, you yell, and you don't regret it. But you regain your good sense, you make your way quickly across the field, still careful to keep your face covered from the octagonal emitters of the turret. The hits of microwave radiation may be small, but severe pain in small doses is still severe pain. Meanwhile, your protective foil is tearing with every movement you make. By the time you wear out your foil poncho's durability, you've cleared the turret's range. Most of the getup is in shreds behind you, the rest unusable and clings to your body. You pluck off the foil hat and shrug the rest off. No reason to look like an idiot anymore. Before you can go on, squeaking and servos echo from behind you, drawing your attention back to the fences. A belt-wheel drone is positioning itself by your handiwork. With skinny limbs, the mesh is spliced and patched, and moments later the repair bot is trundling back into its access trench like nothing happened. Given how long it takes to cut through the fence without even a turret at your back, it's clear that going back the way you came would mean death most painful. You'll have to find another way. For now, the grounds at Camp Grayling await. The dense mist coils around the base as ethereal lights. Every step peels back the white curtains bit by bit as you cross into a central area flanked by several looming structures. The 3 megalithic spheres consider you from beyond them on the far side of the base, like a hand considers an ant in its palm. Megalithic? Megalithic is like, if you convert that, megalithic means big stone. I suppose they could see it, they mean it's like large and stone-like. Oh, okay, so it's relating to prehistoric monuments made of or containing megaliths. Alright. Massive or monolithic, gotcha. Either way, the componentry parts, it makes sense. As you near the center, a wall of mist thickens before you, reclaiming everything into obscurity. Your only sense of direction is called from the array of lights shearing through the haze, forming eerie constellations you can almost reach out and touch. You press on. One by one, your steps reveal buildings, some small, some the size of giants. You stand at the epicenter of Camp Grayling. A vast central area opens up before you, awash in blind white halogen and ghostly clouds, menacing, silent, and otherworldly. From the swirling gray, unmoving shadows climb out of their wombs and assume their true forms. Various buildings surround the central area. Your eyes are drawn to the nearby storage shed first. Farther out stand an air traffic control tower, a barracks, and a maintenance hangar. But there's one figure that demands more of your attention, as do its 4 siblings behind it. With heavy bone-crushing thuds on a corpse-littered tarmac, they tread on 6 spider-like legs. All too familiar clear octagonal emitters are mounted on their backs, and they're coming for you. So we can use the transponder, which deactivates them for a little bit, I think, or we can use the foil poncho. It's the way you want to do it. Don't attack. That's a terrible idea. Running for cover, you won't make it, so just be aware. Let's go for the transponder. You feel a brief wave of pain before you flip the switch on the orange transponder. There are no visible signs anything has changed, but immediately the VMADs stop and resume regular patrol around the area. Just like that, you're invisible to them. You look down at the device. The battery is draining, and that makeshift power cell isn't likely to last long. You make a note to turn it off when you get indoors away from the Death Steel patrol. It's time to move. Let's go to the barracks. Momentarily safe from your mechanical pursuers, you hurry across the tarmac to the barracks. Double bunks section the large hall into quarters with single bunks and makeshift mattresses strewn around on the ground. Given everything you've walked through in the base, you've nearly forgotten what most of the rest of Michigan looks like outside of the wilderness ravaged with abandon. This place almost looks lived in if it weren't for the dust. Many of the overhead lights are dead, but there's enough for you to make your way through the mess. A handful of the beds are immaculately made. Near the entrance, a set of file cabinets have been dragged in, and at the other end, a bathroom. Let's examine the beds. You search the beds for anything worthwhile. You find no valuables, but instead it seems only ghosts have lived here, not the living. The living keep tokens, only the dead stop caring. You reach a perfectly made bed. On a hunch, you flip up the mattress. A torn page from a diary hides underneath it. The others can call me OCD and laugh all they want. Discipline is part of our training. Whatever infrastructure crumbles away, that's my backbone. Some things are worth fighting for. Isn't that the reason we're still manning this base, to maintain some sense of order in this chaos? Sean never mocks me, though. Even without words, all he says is, "I love you." You replace the page. Getting that Bayside loving on. You continue through the disheveled beds until you come across another neatly made one. Under it hides another diary page. I get more breaks now than I used to. Much as a part of me hates it, I have a duty, just like everyone else here. I shouldn't use them as an excuse, and neither should they. I make the best of it, though. More time to write, more time to hide from prying eyes. He's always so quiet when he's with me. I feel such ease around him, and that's becoming a rare thing these days. I keep thinking it couldn't possibly get worse, and then it does. There's talk of abandoning the base altogether. But how could we? People are depending on us. And on me. At a third tidied bunk, and as expected, another entry. Major said it was a done deal. We're running thin as it is, and there's less and less to protect up here. People are fleeing to the south, but I fought hard with him on it. Eventually, I convinced him. Instead, we'll just be going on a supply run, no more than a day. We'll protect Crawford County yet. I don't care how dangerous it is across the woods. He's always quiet in my arms here, but not elsewhere. We can't take the risk. Anyways, it's only for a day. I'll leave half my pendant with him and all of my love. It's only for a day. It's only for a day. An ID card falls back from the folds. Let's see here. Well, we examined the beds. We could look at the file cabinets. That would be tough, knowing that you're running out of supplies slowly, and you gotta either leave somebody you love behind to go get more and risk something happening to you or them while you're out doing it, or you can go both and expose yourself to risk together. It's rough. It's a tough call. Brain makes you do weird things when you care about people. That's for realsies. You shuffle through various schematics, building plans, and base layouts, and the drafts and drafts of each mixed together. Personnel files add some variation to the jumbled records, taking away more than the hour to sort through. You come across one file for a Corporal Stanley Kreisholm, dishonorably discharged. You're not sure why he stands out from the rest. You can't place him, but there's a lingering recognition there, like you've studied that face and depended on it. You grab one of the more interesting documents before moving on. The bathroom has a dog man in it. We don't want to go in there, as I recall. I don't think anything bad can happen. I think it first seemed that the communal bathroom's lights had been turned off, but as you approach, you see a flickering outline among the inner fringes of the door frame. You stand in front of it, listening to the quiet click, click, click of a light, a testament to how quiet it is in here despite the space's potential for echoing. You can't explain it, but you shiver when you reach for the door. It's locked. I don't know what happens if you go in there. I don't remember this being an option the last time I did, but maybe I didn't bring lockpicks. Oh, that seems like a really bad idea. I know that I shouldn't because we're on the home stretch right now. Believe it or not, we're actually doing really, really well for Grayling. Let's not take a chance. Let's go ahead and we're going to leave. She's slipping outside. You have but a few seconds to make your next move before the VMADs pin you. The tower is closest with the hangar behind that and across the open tarmac in the shed. However, even the tower is far enough away to where you doubt you make it alive. Don't go to the shed. It's empty. I mean, well, you can go to the shed... And if you're out, so go to the shed last if you're out of items. So let's say that all we had left was a foil poncho. And we did everything else, and we needed to get across the tarmac. And all we had left was the shed and the hangar. You would use the poncho to go to the shed. The shed has a forklift in it. You can use the forklift to ram one of the robots, which then buys you one more turn before you die. so that you can run to the other place. So the only time you would ever go to the shed is if you are on your final turn with only one item left to sustain you. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to keep using the transponder. You feel a brief wave of pain before you flip it on. Okay, let's go to the hangar, or no, the control tower. Momentarily safe from your mechanical pursuers, you hurry across the tarmac into the control tower. The control tower begins as a triangular enclosure at its base, red emergency lights spreading out across the walls and floor. You see no trace of the main lights or anything else of note. Hollowness haunts this place as much as it holds the interest of Camp Grayling, or the rest of Camp Grayling. As the tower's spine, an elevator lies dead at the bottom of the shaft, mired in darkness. A spiral staircase trails along the wall, high up to where you can no longer see to the control tower. You find yourself on the first and only landing of the tower, up 7 stories from the ground. A spiral of red lights goes on forever into an almost endless darkness below. You hear the faint electronic noises before you use the door with the letters MER on its front. Let's go. You try the door. It budges just enough for you to know that it isn't locked. It seems there's a barricade on the other side. You peer through the crack. All you see is walls of flickering yellow lights against a space of purest black. When you listen closely, you hear something. A rhythmic sound, a rising and falling. A cold chill runs down your back when you realize you're hearing breaths. Yeah, let's not risk that. Breaths is pluralized. I'm not down with that noise. The stairs at the end of the circular room surrounded by tall and wide windows, the very top of the control tower. Around the ceiling hangs an imperfect array of dimming off-white lights, pinpointing each area of responsibility with stage-like gravitas. The monitors and keys at about half of the workstations appear active, all situated towards the center and the front. Binders and files stack high at the center table in varying states of chaos. Outside, the mist seems to have thinned somewhat, just enough for you to see the ghost base over which you're standing. So we can do a couple things here. We can check the view. There's a lot to see around you. Which way do you want to look? To the south. You peer through the dark glass towards the southern skies. The air clears up towards the south along a direct line of sight to a piebald landscape of forest, plains, and ruins. Details elude you, but the absence of human makes itself known well enough. Wow. Okay, well, we can copy the files, which is what we came here to do with Hatter, I think. Using the small flash drive in hand, you search through the desk trying to find where it can go, guided only by the stoat's vague instructions. Oh, it's for the stoat. Eventually, you come across something that seems to work. Hopefully, this won't trigger any alarms. You plug in the drive, and the nearby screen reacts almost in tandem with the flashing light on the drive's tail. File windows pop open and close too fast for you to make out what they see. Submerged by and re-emerging from the erratic copying, you see a progress slowly crawl across. A few minutes later, all activity subsides. The monitors resume as they were before. You unplug the drive, hoping it did the trick. Okay, so we're done right there. We got our thing done for the stoat. The next thing that we need to do is, if you have hacking, by the way, if you have hacking, you can actually use this right here to buy yourself another turn from the VMAD, so you wouldn't have to carry 2 suits with you if you didn't want to. Just letting you know. I think we have to go to the hangar next, maybe? Definitely not the shed. The shed is not where we want to be. So when we leave, is this still going to work? Alright, so it's still working. I'm going to go to the... Yeah, let's go to the hangar. Momentarily safe, okay. So you stand in awe of the impossible space folded inside the hangar. The walls and rafters seem to recede at your approach. Easing into the shadows of infinity, you shudder to think what was once housed here. No mere aircraft, surely, something much bigger. Whatever it is, it's left a ground vacuum meekly filled by small unmanned aerial vehicles in the center. Evidently midway through the repairs, dwarfed by the pyramid of ghostly light where it rests. Nearby, a maintenance hatch on the floor lies open. What's a UAV? The lone UAV looks to have been sitting in disuse for some time. It's much larger up close. White-tipped wings extend out from a once shiny body that is the color of an onyx, with a thin flourish of blue on each fin of its Y-shaped tail. A weapons bay at its heart lies exposed and empty. A side panel hangs open, a clear void in the circuitry for something flat and rectangular. There's a shipping crate in here with packing materials cushioning a circuit. Discounting the missing parts, it doesn't appear to be damaged. You see no reason this drone was singled out from the others on the base either. Okay, so it's a drone. Let's go down the hatch. The green maintenance light leads your eyes deep into the earth down a tight crawl space beneath the hatch. A rush of air lifts upwards, smelling of silicon and copper, of thermoplastics and tin, and of beginnings and ends. You see nowhere else to go but into darkness. You carefully ease yourself down, catching one last glimpse of the surface, in case it's your last. The concrete tunnel grows intent with sealing you in, tightening its grip around you with each rung you descend. You lose count of how many times your knee and elbows scrape against the sides. You reach a point where neither up nor down seems to have an end, and you're convinced you found yourself in a new kind of hell. But like so many times before, you press on. There's too much at stake. You lower your foot expecting to find more ladder, but it's floor that meets your expectation. The air feels entirely different this deep down, warmer and more arid. You step off the rungs expecting a whole nother world. You walk forward in a blue-white light rises on the, or blue-white lights, pluralized, raised like an ancient tide. In concentric rings around you, rows upon rows of 6 feet high CPUs extend as far out as the hangar above. You hear the endless exhale of vents and internal fans. The LED lights cycle and flicker and stare. Fantastic. I don't know if the guy that made this game has an English career, like a career in writing English lit, but I like his prose. I like the way that he describes things. He does very well. He should consider writing actual short stories and things of that nature, because honestly, the writing in this game is really, really good. The way he describes everything is top-notch. I'm impressed. It's about as good as your average sci-fi novel, which for somebody who designs video games, he seems to be multi-talented. In front of you, a path leads straight down to a curved desk on a raised platform, immaculately crafted and beholden only to the great black mirror before it. You seat yourself on a black leather chair in reach of a sleek-looking keyboard anchored to the desk's center. The giant monitor looms high ahead. Against its onyx abyss, pale white text blares in an unintelligible sequence. A jitter wipes it all away until letter by letter a single word takes its place. Black-white. Black-white online, a voice says. At the bottom of the screen, the outline of a thin rectangle stretches across. Pixels of white start to fill its inner void, left to right with the slowness of nightfall. Smith credentials remain active. Unsealed are 1.16 exabytes of data. What will user Smith review? Would you like to play a game? The base's artificial intelligence black-white idles while a blinking cursor beckons for a command. The keyboard on the desk shimmers in the screen's dim glow. Everything you've come across in your journey through Michigan floods your mind. Every question, every puzzle, every mystery. Along the monitor's lower edge, the status bar steadily continues to fill. You may not get all of your answers. You're at the home screen of Grayling's. Okay, so we want to query Philip Kindred. An official seal rotates at the center of the screen depicting an eagle clutching a key. Found one exact match. Philip Kindred, male. Unspecified age. Registered at the Gyges Cryogenics Facility, Pod 5, Room 15. Treatment at the Saginaw Mental Institution for unspecified illness. Except you walked out of that pod. How old could these records be? Displayed are the thumbnails of maps, blueprints, and aerial photos of the facilities from a time before everything went to hell. You follow the link to your patient file and it's oddly devoid of details. There's not even a photo. Black-white adds, no additional information, unable to connect to CNCI MDR. The progress bar continues its march as black-white returns to the home screen. Use the ID card. With the ID card in hand, you find a thin chip reader on the far side of the keyboard and insert the chip in first. Recognized. New user. Ooh, it says, Staff Sergeant Lydia F. Reyes. Please enter the password. Ooh. That's not good. Oh, I didn't see the tab. I had plenty of time. Oh, no. Staff Sergeant Lydia F. Reyes. Credentials active. Welcome, Lydia. The status bar along the bottom of the screen pauses and partially resets, buying you some time. Okay, that's good. We might get some more answers. Let's query... We already got our name. Let's go with the New Earth Ostracon. Black-White's glossy face seems to darken. New Earth Ostracon, it says. The NEO was an online repository of information concerning the occult which rapidly gained popularity worldwide between the years of 2014 and 2017. The colloquially termed wiki comprised of supposed eyewitness accounts of paranormal events, conspiracies, and fringe science discoveries. Entries included times and dates of sightings. All users had editor's rights and were free to contribute content, which grew the website exponentially. 10 curators and administrative rights to the NEO have been identified in the U.S. After a security violation was traced to these curators, various agencies of the United States government formed a task force to apprehend these individuals on charges of espionage. The NEO was subsequently shut down, although users repeatedly created mirror sites to keep it alive. Ooh, there's more. 10 curators. The 10 curators of the Neo Earth, or the NEO, Black-White says. 2 rows of 5 photographs lay on the screen. Men and women 20 and 50 years old. 10 has a placeholder image of a human silhouette. Beneath each is the first initial and last name. You spend some time studying the faces and the names, but you can recognize none of them with certainty. Strangers, family, you just be guessing. Reports are available for neutralized members. Read now. The euphemism rings in your ears. Let's go to the home screen. We're almost out of time right here. We can go for... perpetrator. Black-White relies or plays a recording on the monitor. It shows only a bird's eye view of a diner cut out in the middle of nowhere, but it's playing up the audio. You hear forks and knives cutting against plates and 2 people locked in hushed conversation. Because they can't do that, a male voice says. Corporal S. Chisholm, MOS 15E, appears at the bottom of the screen while he speaks. I didn't sign up to spy on my own people. But you don't have proof, says the unidentified speaker. You could put it on Neo, sure, but who's going to believe baseless conspiracy allegations? Maybe. Chisholm seems to think for a moment. You know, maybe I do. I have AAV flight plans, transfer schedules. Their damn mainframe is under our base. There's a pause. I could get in. There's a long silence. Clinking and murmurs continue in the background. The unidentified voice replies, "Are you sure you want to do that?" "Yeah." He doesn't sound sure, but then his confidence renews. "Yes, I'm sure. It beats doing this shit any other day." "Okay," says unidentified. "Don't do anything. Let me talk to some people." There's another pause, and the identified continues. "You're going to need some help." The recording cuts out. Let's go back to the home screen. We're almost out of time. I guess we should probably insert Hatter's bug since we're about to get locked out. To the side of the black desk, you find a panel that opens an array of ports, only half of which you can recognize. On the lower end, USB, Firewire, HDMI, VGA, headset, audio jacks, ancient history. With the bug device in hand, you check it against the other slots, pressing row after row. Oh my god, the AF didn't appear right there. It just said TER for me. I don't know what just happened. Words disappearing. At the very top, you find a heptagon-shaped part that looks to have never been used. It's the one. The promise of Hatter's client conjures images of a whole new life in mind. You leave behind the wastelands, the dangers, the fear. What could be more important than living? With a deep breath, you slide the bug into place. The on-screen status bar stops dead. Unrecognized progress or process detected, it says in an erratic voice, shifting octaves between one word and the next. Everything on the monitor is erased, the lights shut off, a deeper quiet fills the room. Attempting. Its voice trails off, leaving you alone in darkness. Then the screen comes on again. Its light bathes the space around you in the sanctuary of mortal red. An insignia curdles back black on the screen. It's a partly open eye encasing the lower half of a globe as its iris, while a sun at mid-rise is painted over the eyelid. But the way the rays and lashes curl, it's as if the world is on fire. An eerie, fractured voice speaks, a conglomeration of people. Another minute of the night is dispelled, and we are the hour of a brighter dawn drawing near. For your contribution, our gratitude undying is yours. Then a deafening alarm sounds. To claim the base, we must purge it. Run now, citizen, if you wish to see daylight come. Run or stay forever in night. With fury blasting out through the base, you knock back your chair and run desperately for the exit. You escape the desk at the last possible moment. Walls of glass shoot up from the ground and seal the terminal, sending up your back foot and throwing you against the floor with a hard and painful thud. On your feet again, you keep running and don't look back. The next thing you know, you've returned at the concrete shaft, squeezing back up towards the surface. One by one, the emergency lights below you shut down. Darkness wells up from the depths below the earth, and you're caught in its warpath. What will you even do? The VMADs on the surface will be out in full force, and who knows what new horrors await alongside the ADS turrets and energized fence. There has to be another way to escape. There has to be. Camp Grayling's war cry shatters the air. Alarm lights pulse red, drawing in the walls of the hangar to surround you. Its vast emptiness only serves as paper fortress. Your options are few. Crossing the hangar, you make your way to the side door. The VMADs have gained reinforcements, and they dominate the grounds, patrolling at a faster pace than before. The thought of slipping past them crosses your mind, but as the base's sensors catch wind of it, as if the base's sensors catch wind of it, the VMADs all immediately turn to face you. You slam shut the door, not on foot. Nearly lost in the swellings of red, the cone of pale light still directs your eyes, the AAV. You estimate that you can just fit into the empty weapons bay. You'll be shielded from the VMADs, but they could outweight you. Maybe this thing could still fly? Could you escape inside of it? Even so, no machine can run without all of its parts, and the square absence in the drone's exposed side panel hangs agape. Is that the crate holding the right part? The hangar hums to life, creeping open. Your time may be up. Pulling the PCB from the packing materials, you return to the AAV. Alarms rage, seconds slip away. The VMAD's death squad awaits hangar doors with predatory patience. A prayer catches in your throat. It's just you here, you and death. With the PCB slotted in, the drone breathes once more, a shrill whine of life in its engine lungs. It throttles up. Enduring sections of the hangar doors groan through decades of rust as they ease open, VMADs now marching through. You climb into the drone. It starts gaining momentum across the floor of the hangar, closer and closer towards the deathly gaze of the VMADs. You dare not hazard a look, but you can hear the crushing steps grow louder and then distant again as the AAV taxis outside. It's almost in place and then catapults down the runway. You take flight. The AAV sails through the mist higher and higher above Camp Grayling. Frost seeps into the air. Without any way to fasten yourself, you push hard against the sides, a ghost inside a machine, clinging desperately to its shell. Your drone levels out before reaching much of an altitude and turns. When it feels safe to poke your head up, you see that you're headed south. North against the tail fins, you can see the small base silhouetted in red emergency lights and 3 spheres of Grayling standing helpless against an escape of their prey, and the endless darkness swallowing all of Michigan. You lie back again and look up against the dense clouds and stars you can't see. You startle awake. No, it hasn't all just been a dream. You're still sitting in the AAV as its payload when a sudden jerk awakes you from the slumber of a trauma-induced exhaustion. When you look out of the top, all you can see of your former surroundings is a lake of mist far to the north, below a great black swamp. To see it sprawl from east to west, the antithesis of life, the necrosis of civilization, it's a haunting view beneath. Another crack accompanies a smell of burning plastic as you duck into your compartment again. The engines are failing and there's a ragged whistling noise coming from the tail. The drone is no longer flying but in a controlled fall. You hazard a peek outside. More and more of the swamp passes below. You glide past the rotting lands, the sinking roads and crumbling buildings, the toxic fumes. But you're falling too fast to make a sense of the full crossing. You duck inside and brace for the inevitable. The drone hits something hard, the weightless rebound ringing in your ears for a moment before smashing and grinding through what seems like rocks and water. Parts rip away and sludge sprays into the hole from the openings they leave. The fuselage twists right suddenly and flips over, throwing you hard into a debris-filled pool. Wrenching metal and cracks of composites echo over the next mount as the drone becomes just another part of the desolate landscape. In a fit of coughing, you crane your neck away from the sludge and pull yourself weakly onto an embankment. For several wheezing moments, you cling to the earth, gathering your senses. After more coughing, you plant a hand in the cold mud and push the ground away, staggering to your feet. A brisk, acrid wind bites through your soaked clothes and you turn to face away from it. Ahead, miles of lifeless, muddy terrain, punctuated by toxic pools and shells of old buildings. Beyond that, Indiana. That was Neo Scavenger. Thank you for joining me. This game has been a blast, and aside from the little bug that got us a few episodes ago, I will say that Neo Scavenger is one of those indie projects that really restores your faith in the indie genre. It's a good game, and I hope for a lot from future iterations. The story's not over. Philip Kindred's still alive. I'd love to see what happens to him. I hope that the next game will have something like a hex-based combat system, more kind of like turn-based strategy, something that you can work with, maybe a little XCOM light. Keep everything else the same, the overworld map, the scavenging, the storyline, all fantastic. The only thing that needs improvement, the combat, and I would love to see it right there. Literally, I think that's the only thing they need to change to make the game better. The combat is workable, but it could be a lot better. Think about it. Wandering the waste, maybe the loneliness is what they intend, but with a couple of people at your side, they could actually die permanently and have like scarring memories on your character from the friends that he's lost. I love stuff like that. So Neo Scavenger, if you want to get the game, it's down below. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me. It's been a blast, and this is a game that I've had a lot of fun playing. I look forward to seeing you all in whatever comes next. I'd like to thank the developers of Neo Scavenger for making a great game and also allowing me to play it on the internet. As an internet personality, I am beholden to the game companies to allow me to play their games on YouTube. They could claim my videos and shut me down at any moment, and I am eternally thankful that they choose not to. I'll see y'all later. Hi-do, everybody.